From Lyon Solent, where glamour is the exception to the rule, we go to London Airport, where there's always an abundance of it, and where even the typically English weather doesn't seem so depressing after a welcoming smile from air hostesses like lovely Margaret Sheffield. But in case you're wondering how the stewardesses keep smiling when the weather is so dismal, let's go with Margaret on a routine flight. A rain-swept London one day, and the next, the sun-drenched islands of the West Indies with their incomparably lovely landscapes. This, then, is Trinidad. But captivating though it is in its own right, for 2 days in the year, this serenity is transformed into a vivid blaze of color by the annual carnival, which, although not an official holiday, plays such a great part in the lives of the people that the rest of the year is spent preparing for it. The people enter wholeheartedly into the spirit of the carnival, and the preparation is taken most seriously. Great secrecy being maintained, for example, over the wonderful costumes to be worn. The money for this, collected from individuals and paid into a common fund, sometimes represents several months' hard-earned wages. By the way, the marches and calypso accompaniment to the procession are provided by the rhythm of the now famous steel bands, specially made for the occasion. The festival has its roots in the 16th century, but has of course developed considerably in size and ingenuity, and in recent years has become a feature of Trinidad. Inhabitants of the neighboring islands, as well as tourists from the United States, flying over especially for the carnival. A short journey that would once have taken several weeks, now cut by jet power to only a few hours. At the airport, Margaret meets her friend from another line, Betty Lou Fisher, and after a change out of uniform, they're off to the carnival. About 50,000 people, divided into sections known as bands, each with its own picturesque name like Brazilian Bandits and Crazy Man Crazy, take part. The bands vary in size from 1,500 people to ingenious individuals like Betty Lou and Margaret, although of course they haven't had time to prepare proper costumes. As you can imagine, the cost is fabulous. The material used in the Glory of Greece band with 611 people alone included 700 sheets of aluminium for the armor, 3,000 yards of velvet, and 600 yards of satin. Prizes are awarded for the most original and attractive outfits. Incidentally, even the most tremendous contraptions worn on the head are still called hats. But the expenses and effort that go into these fantasies are far more than the prize value. Another astonishing thing is that no matter what the cost, costumes and figures are not used again. It is, in fact, a year's work for 2 days. Every type of subject and theme, both real and imaginary, is depicted by the bands, each rivaling the next in originality, ingenuity, and color spectacle, while just as color conscious, the crowd dress as vividly as they can. Incidentally, as a matter of interest, steel bands introduced after the war were banned at one time because of the number of vehicles that were being robbed of bumper bars and other useful parts. Fortunately, today they're not, and for mile after mile, the procession takes 4 hours to pass a given point, these happy people dance on to their intoxicating rhythm. Everything stops, unofficially that is, during the 2 days of the carnival. Shops close and workers take time off to watch or, when possible, take part in the long-awaited festival. For at this time, personal interests are forgotten. Everyone gives their all for the privilege of sharing this experience. Typical of the unquenchable spirit that makes the Trinidad Carnival an unforgettable occasion.